We are the Lorehounds, your guides to space Australia. Hi, I'm Elysia, and I love this movie.
And it's David here, and let's just say that this is not going to make my top 10 list or my top Predator film list either. So,
and I'm Jean, but nobody knows what I think.
Ooh.
Let's find out in our Predator Badlands breakdown.
You have been mum on this.
Yeah.
Hey.
Suspiciously mum.
Yeah, suspiciously. Yeah. I was like, what's going on? And you know what? I just realized, when's the last time the three of us, it was just the three of us on a podcast? I'm thinking back to our MCU days.
Since the MCU heydays, before you left us.
Before,
because there were too many movies like this one.
Yeah.
What's up?
So we're going to start with a spoiler-free opening. For anyone who hasn't seen it yet, we'll talk through what we did or didn't like about the movie on a broad way, and we will take a break. Actually, for us, behind the scenes, is going to be a long break, but there will be a commercial break and a warning before we get into spoilers. Before we do our hot takes, though, I thought that we could begin with just reminding quickly what are our personal backgrounds with the Predator franchise and what are our personal favorite Predator movies. So, David, let's start with you. What's your Predator background and your top two Predator movies, or
I saw the first Predator movie in the theater with some buddies of mine, and we were all into, at that time, paintball. And so for us, this was like the ultimate of like, you know, badass dudes in camouflage with like cool gear, even though they get completely taken to pieces. So this has a big mythology in my life. So there's a lot of love for this movie. It is the height of the big man action hero genre. So really, yeah, it's deeply lodged in my psyche. Predator 2, Predators, the Predator. So yeah, I have to say, I do not remember Predators or the Predator. I don't know if I've actually ever seen them, to be honest.
Okay.
Prey, right? We'll get there in a second with Prey. Predator of Killer, seen that. And then I've seen the two Alien v Predator movies, but that was in relation to the the Predators project that we did.
Or the Alien project.
Sorry, God, my brain is cooked. I apologize, everybody. It's been a long day. The Aliens project that Aisha and I did a couple of years ago for the 45th anniversary of the original movie. So Prey, first time I saw it, I was like, I kind of bounced off it. And then we had one of our 11sies movie club things. And then I fell in love with that movie. And I think it's my number 2. Are we doing rankings?
I mean, yeah, just shout out. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So Predator number 1, right? Obviously for mythological reasons, right? Definitely Prey is a favorite. I would put Predator 2 lower down. But it's such a wild ass movie.
Yeah. It's silly, but it's fun.
It's like hot and humid in there, and it's just craziness. So, but it is kind of rough and it's got some bad stereotypes and stuff in it. So
yes, it does.
Yeah. So there's, it's problematic in some ways, but the action is off the hook. And then it sets up some really important lore, right? The pistol and all of that stuff,
and the skulls,
and the alien skulls. And
we definitely get references to that and everything that's happening recently too. It's an important movie.
So I'm going to have to get around to someday watching Predators and the Predator, but I would say Predator and then Prey and then let's see, Badlands and Predator 2 and Killer of Killers are all somewhere close to each other in the lower half of my rankings, I would say.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So for contrast's sake, I'll go next. My top rankings are definitely the Dan Trachtenberg trio. So, so I would say, I mean, whether like I prefer this or Prey, like this being Predator Badlands or Prey depends on the day. I think, I'm having a real recency bias thing here with Predator Badlands. I do love this movie. I will talk about why. So yeah, those are my top 2, then Killer of Killers. And then of the older films, I think actually my favorite of them is Predators. That's the one with Adrian Brody, it's not that he's my favorite part, to be honest, although I think it's funny how he talks in a growl this whole time because he's a badass. But that's the one where they are kidnapped and brought to another language and another planet.
They're all cooked today.
And yeah, so in a lot of ways, like that movie felt like a sort of test run for this one. And then they're like, what if we actually gave you a budget to create a different planet? And then, I actually, like, my hot take on the Discord that people were pushing back on is that the really action centric ones, like the original Predator, fall a bit lower. It's not at the bottom of my list, but it's in the bottom half of my list.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a soft spot for the AVP movies. I think there's some good things about them. They're not great, but there's some good things about them that I would like to see better realized now that we have.
I forget which one it is. Is it Alien v Predator? That one actually has some lore building and some Yautja Prime stuff, and there's that one I think is much more interesting. Where Alien v Predator, I don't know, it felt like a CW movie. Sorry, CW, but I don't know how to tonally. It's like off. It's very strange.
What about you, Jean? What is your thoughts on Predator, the franchise?
Oh, boy. Okay. Prey would be my number one.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Prey would be my number one, followed by Predator. Then followed by, can I do the crossovers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alien versus Predator.
Wow. Whoa.
And
You're really shaking
Badlands.
it up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can see with those rankings, the like Alien versus Predator, it has, spoilers for past Predator movies. But
Yes.
sorry, that one's been out for a long time now. But it has the team up, the aspect that this film also features. So I can see why. Yeah.
Yeah. So those will be my top four, and everything else falls in between. I love Killer of Killers, but yeah, I think those four would be it for me.
All right. So let's talk about the new one. Again, this is going to be our spoiler-free hot takes. Just to set the premise, a young Predator outcast from his clan finds an unlikely ally on his journey in search of the ultimate adversary. And so this is the first movie that's really from a member of, and I think it's the first time they're saying on film. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the way now. The pronunciation was, according to the linguists, according to the guy who invented the language, the pronunciation is Yautja, and that follows with how they pronounce it. But in Dan Trachtenberg, the director, and in this film itself, they keep saying Yautja. So I'm like, fine. I guess we've made it Yautja now. So I don't know. I might say both.
and to put a little asterisk on that, there hasn't been a lore Bible, right? There hasn't been a definitive thing, right? Everybody's there's in between films, long periods in between films. There's no Keeper of the Chronicles for this as such.
Yeah, I mean, because there are like the books and the comics, and they are full of lore, but then the movies, they're definitely not canon to the movies, or maybe but Dan Trachtenberg is definitely pulling things from them, or even that Alien versus Predator movie was pulling directly from that. So there's a lot of lore out there, but it doesn't mean it's canon to what we're watching.
Right.
Yeah,
the on-screen canon versus the printed canon don't always align.
Right. So, even the printed canon, I think, contradicts itself. So it's kind of like, it's like, I suppose, like the extended universe Star Wars, and that's kind of why they, anyway. So, Jean, you like this fairly well, to speak on that more?
I like this movie. Yes. I mean, I'm a sucker for, family drama and found family. And this had that in spades. So I was very intrigued by Dek and all of the surrounding, lore for him particularly, and how he becomes I don't know, should I say how they become who they become. in the film. So
Dek is a he. Yeah.
Okay, so he. So yeah, I really liked this movie. I thought some of the action sequences were spectacular. The creature designs were amazing. Overall, I really got into it and I really liked it.
Okay, cool. And David, this was not your salad, as we've started to say.
And I want to be clear, I don't think it's a bad movie. The plot was coherent. The setup was very straightforward. I don't like a found family storyline anymore. I feel there's been a lot of that, and I'm just kind of done with it. I know some people have been talking about the comparisons and connectivity to a Star Wars type of story. And for me, I didn't immediately think of Star Wars at all. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy. I felt very much that this moved into an MCU style of storytelling, where it's not so much an arc, but a flip. So there's a character who's going along, and then suddenly at some point they have their little moment, and we don't see the process of their flip, but it's suddenly they're flipped and they're, now they're family and they're, all coming together. So there was a lot that I couldn't predict about this movie, but I could predict the state of the characters as a group by the end of the movie. That was apparent to me from very early on without being spoilery about some of those details. Mm-hmm. So this movie for me, we have our little different tests of things, Pukila for violence and this and that. And so for me, this fails the Lopez test of, does a property fall within its parent genre? If it's part of a universe, does it actually be part of that universe? And for me, a lot of it is the humanization of the predators, the anthropomorphizing of them, such that it was a very clear story, the brothers and the father and trying to come of age and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, the predator vibe is a very different thing. It's an alien thing. We can do a story told from a predator standpoint. I don't have any issue with that. But it just felt like the characters were going on this, the friends we make along the way kind of storyline, as opposed to what are the Yautja and what is going on with their culture. I mean, not so much their culture, but it didn't tell a Yautja story for me. It told a human story for me. And I know we got to have storytelling that we can understand, but it didn't work for me. And the construct didn't work for me. And then I will say that I tried to be very careful about my critique relative to my viewing experience. I saw it a matinee at my local theater, and it was on the not great screen that my theater has. So it was really muddy and dark. So I couldn't even enjoy the set piece action stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was that's just disappointing. And I'm trying to make sure that that's not part of my critique of the story and the character development. That's two separate things. So I'm going to have a really hard time talking about special effects and other things because I just didn't have a great viewing experience.
Okay.
So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, as I said, I feel quite differently, and I did. The first time I saw it on Dolby, so I did get to see the special effects in their full glory. And
nice.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a front runner for the VFX Oscar. We'll see if that plays out. But I did not myself in my head go to the Star Wars comparisons, but as soon as people started seeing it, I started to hear a lot about the Star Wars comparisons. Yeah. And I see it. I really like the Star Wars Explained YouTube channel, and they put out a video like what Star Wars can learn from Predator Badlands. Just make the movies already. No. And I've seen people call it like an episode of The Mandalorian. I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess I see it. I definitely am someone for found family. We just had that episode where I was a guest on Nevermind the Music just came out recently about Hope Punk. Yeah. And this is definitely a hope punk movie. I said the subtitle of this movie I have in the notes is Toxic Masculinity. There is a better way. So I find it very interesting, in terms of you're talking about the Lopez scale. And I find it very interesting that this was written by the same person who wrote Prey. So it's him and Dan Trachtenberg, who is also, of course, the director, and Patrick Eisen is the name of the writer of. He wrote the screenplay for this, and the stories by him and Dan Trachtenberg together. And Prey, I think you might agree, has more of that traditional Predator feel.
Yep.
But this one, it does. I said in our conversation on the second breakfast for this month for subscribers, I said that it's not a James Gunn movie, but it definitely could be, in terms of it features some of like the heart. There's cute animals. There's found family. There's, but for me, this just really worked. It's really, I rewatched it again to make the notes, and I think I like it even more now. Just seeing how things are set up. And I do think that it actually is like a Predator movie in unexpected ways. Like it might not have some of the go-to things, in terms of like Predator vision or things like that, but it does have the classic story about an underdog who needs to learn all of the tools of their environment to, no spoilers, but come on.
Yeah, I'm really biting my tongue on like saying, about some of that, about the formatting of a Predator movie. And I'm all for breaking down and subverting expectations and building new storylines. But yeah, I do have some critique about the way that all went, because they do include it in the movie, right? There are hallmark patterns to the movie, and I just don't know if I agree with them or not.
I don't find Star Wars or Guardians in this.
Okay,
really?
Yeah, I truly don't.
Okay.
So
we got some things to talk about.
I don't find it. Break. I don't find it in this. I think.
Well, Dek is certainly not Star-Lord, so there's that.
And thank God for miracles. But yeah, I didn't feel that watching the film, that I was, watching something that Gunn had done, or something that, was in one of the trilogies. I didn't get that sense at all, because I just felt like this was I don't think that it took away from the predator type mythology it's already been built, because we saw what it was from the very beginning of the film. Mm-hmm. I think it's just the film is giving subtle and sometimes really overt background information into the culture of the Yautja, right? Mm-hmm. And I found that to be really great, because I've hated them throughout every film. I've hated them, and I thought they were OP'd, antagonists, because they were so advanced, much more advanced than anyone else, right? And to see that kind of flipped was really refreshing for me. To see one of them not have the tools of the trade readily available and have to survive on more than just the technology.
Right.
I really like that part of the film.
Yeah.
Because I hate the Predators. I don't like them.
So they chose to set this the furthest into the future of any of the Alien and Predator movies. So that gives them Yeah. And that gives them a lot of freedom, of course. But also they are building on, you can see Dan Trachtenberg is cooking up something. Like when he's asked about it in interviews, he has ideas, but all the lore drops and Killer of Killers and, how does that tie into here? He's clearly pulling from a bigger story and has a bigger story in mind. And, with the Weyland-Yutani in this from the Alien universe, we have every reason to believe that we might be building toward a new crossover that hopefully will make people happier.
And that's something what I thought about too. I had some critique of how some of that iconography and character types were employed in the story that I disagree with as well.
Okay.
Not to be overly purist, because obviously if it's the future or whatever, things have changed, but there were key tonal shifts of how things were used and portrayed that I didn't find satisfying.
Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to getting into it. Can I ask, what do you think the Pukila rating would be for physical and emotional violence? So I have to say, there was a controversy before this came out where it was rated PG-13, and people were like, man, we don't want a Predator movie if it's not rated R. And Dan Trachtenberg's like, listen, we're using alien blood and synth blood, so we can get away with more. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's interesting. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, because there's no human beings. So
Right. So what do you think is the Pukila rating?
It's funny because it's not it's a lot of set piece stuff, you know, it's not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a 5.
I would say like no, but I would say like emotionally it's like a warm hug of a movie.
Yeah,
it's a warm hug of a movie. I would even. I don't know that it. Like,
I don't know if it's
upset.
a warm hug.
I feel like 2.5.
Okay, all right.
I mean, Marilyn's not going to watch it anyway, so
no,
that is true.
It moves after that.
Yes,
but I would sooner recommend this to her than something that was bleak, you know, but not violent.
Yeah. There is a hopefulness to it. There is
it's hope punk.
A hero. It is. It's hope punk. It's a hero overcoming and going on the journey and coming back victorious.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say my theater experience was, I watched it, I guess, it was not opening day, but it was shortly thereafter. And I watched it in Dolby. So it was a big theater with hundreds of people and no one else was laughing as much as me. So
really?
Like, I don't know, maybe it just like particularly tickled my funny bone. Cause sometimes I worry that like, that I'm humorless because other things that people think are hilarious. I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't make me laugh at all. But this movie makes me laugh over and over. And there's just like all these blink or you'll miss it gags. Like there's just one point, like Thia, who is a synth, she just does this on her eyeball so that like a security scanner can get a clip. I don't know, just like the way Elle Fanning delivers this, the way they're directed and written. I just think this movie is hilarious and I love it.
The audience in my theater, there's about a dozen people for the matinee, and there was a group of 4 or 5 people, and they were yucking it up and having a good time. They really were into it and got it.
All right.
I didn't hear anybody grumbling or making any of those kinds of noises.
Right.
And then every podcast I've listened to, other podcasters talking about it, I've, listened to it. I'm like, well, I need to find other people who agree with my take on that I don't like the movie. And I found no satisfaction. It seems like
you're the outlier.
Why I am the outlier in this case. And it's made a lot of money. And even the sort of NPR culture critic-y type people have been enjoying it, let alone The Ringer or Bald Move or anybody else. Everybody's into this movie. And so I'm just over here eating my salad without any dressing on it.
Hey, man. It's all right.
Put some dressing on your salad.
I want you to be healthy. Eat that salad.
So in terms of ratings, it's definitely on like the leaning positive side on Rotten Tomatoes. 86% from critics, 95% from audiences. Metacritic 70.
That's high.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially it's a little more temperate on Metacritic, 71% from critics and 6.1 from audiences, 7.5 on IMDb.
They're a little snooty over there at Metacritic. I'm not kidding. I'm being silly.
No, I mean, they measure it differently. So it's always lower. 7.5 on IMDb, which is pretty high.
Wow, that is high too.
It's solid. 3.6 on Letterboxd, which is same as solid.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah. I would say on Letterboxd, a 4 is phenomenal. Upper 3s is very good.
Really good.
Mm-hmm, really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you said, it's done quite well. The so far, the budget was $105 million. The reported budget so far, it's been out 2 weekends. It made, and I'll just say we are going to record this in 2 parts, so I might check back in with the box office in the second part to see how it is.
Sounds good.
But it's made as of Monday, November 17th. It's made 136 million.
All right.
So it did drop the second weekend, and you get the usual hyperbolic headlines about like, oh, it dropped 60% or 67%.
I hate those.
Yeah.
But I hate those.
Now You See Me 3, Now You Can See, or whatever, that card trick game movie. It did surprisingly well, actually, at the box office.
It did astoundingly well.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, and Running Man did not do as well as expected. So we'll see. I think that because of all of the positive reviews, this one has longevity. So it'll be interesting to check back in on the box office after this coming weekend. Yeah. So
I think I don't think from a studio standpoint they cannot be disappointed with this.
No way.
No, they're not. Definitely not.
Way.
Yeah.
No way.
And I think that really, you're only ever as good as your last movie, and Trachtenberg has put out 3 solid movies.
Yeah.
And I think he's really, giving himself the space to be able to make a movie. This is a much bigger budget, much bigger set piece. There's a lot more going on than Prey was going on. So you could feel it. You could feel the on-screen, the money that they put into the screen.
Right. And now, because, Prey was kind of like a test, because The Predator, we didn't talk much about that one in our opening, but
is that the bad one?
That's the bad one. I think it's it's another one where I'm like, it's stupid bad, but I don't hate watching it regardless.
Right.
But it
okay,
is bad.
Right. Yeah.
And it's the one,
yeah. You go to the fast food restaurant from time to time, right? You get some, greasy fries or whatever.
And everyone was so excited about it because it was done by Shane Black, who was in the original Predator and, has done a lot of movies that people love. But this one was just a mess, really a mess. And so this Prey movie, of course, it was released like during the pandemic and all that, but it was just released straight to Disney Plus. Yeah, or Hulu or whatever, depending on where you are. And it was kind of a test in ways. And then it was like, whoa, that did well. And now Dan Trachtenberg has built the name where I think, he's allowed to really shape the future of this franchise.
Mm-hmm. Does he want to? Have you read any of that stuff?
Yeah. People are always asking him in interviews. They're like, we don't want to pigeonhole you into Predator. He's like, oh, no, yeah, don't worry. I have ideas.
I'm pigeonholed, color pigeonholed.
Yeah. He's like, just put a cowboy hat on me and call me.
Funny.
Disney reference. But yeah, so I think... And now they've invented this whole conlang or constructed language from the Yautja, whatever. There's some fun things from that that I just wanted to point out because, I got to do a little linguistics mini deep dive. But it's so cool. Just, I love how they do these conlangs, how they influence and reflect the culture that they're building the language for. And, I want to shout out, Jessica shared a great LA Times article that some of this information comes from, and some of this just comes from interviews with Dan Trachtenberg and interviews with the linguist Britton Watkins. He's the one who did this language. And it was originally based on Polynesian, or more specifically Hawaiian vocabulary. And it seems like the reason for that is they had to keep in mind the fact that the Yautja don't have lips. So the Yautja can't make they can't make those sounds that you need lips for. So
love that. Okay,
that's great.
So I guess the Polynesian languages have less of those, have less consonants in general.
Okay.
So what they did instead is they form complex consonant clusters. So like that, I opened with that greeting, kaun-iti, which I'm not sure I'm saying it correctly, but like it starts with a GK, which is like like that, more sounds like the starter car from Dune.
Sure, right.
The sound of it. So yeah, we've seen the runic writing, and I think the sound matches the runic writing, but now they've like done the whole grammatical thing. And so like you can start to learn this language. You can start to pick it apart, even watching it a second time. Just know that like the word order, they do object, verb, subject, which is different from Polynesian, but it means like instead of saying I'm going to the store, it's store go to I,
Okay.
And they keep the vocabulary simple because the Yautja are practical. So, for instance, chish means I and me. So if you listen in the movie, you'll hear a lot of things end with chish because the subject's at the end. Or you'll listen for, and ngai is for all negative. So, no, wait, nai is actually how they say it. Nai, you'll hear over and over, and like it just means whatever is negative. There's no gendered stuff, like in French or Spanish or whatever.
Right.
But there is a version of formal versus informal speak, like in French you have tu versus vous. Here it's instead of informal and formal, it's respectful or insulting. So
I like that.
If I say dao to you, I'm being respectful. If I say wool, I'm insulting you.
Right, and it's binary. It's one or the other.
I'm either speaking up to you or down to you.
Right.
Oh, I like that a lot. I'm going to incorporate that in my daily.
And I just there are very practical, literal people. Like this exchange from where Dek offers Thia meat at one point, and she says, "Oh no, thanks, I don't eat, but that's very sweet." And he says, "This flesh is not sweet." Right. It's good to know. So yeah, that's totally sign me up for Yautja classes right after. Actually, I could see Abby going into this. She's the one who learns like Valerian and stuff like that.
Cool. Fun. Yeah, I like it. I like that they're thinking all the way down to the physiology because that's a really important part about how sounds are made.
Really cool.
The lips, air, throat, right? All of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys have any more spoiler-free thoughts for this opening section?
I will say for the outlier guy, I'm not. I just want to make sure that people know that I'm not negative.
OG.
I just
OG.
Outlier guy, OG. I don't want to yuck anybody's yums. I don't want to,
Yuck it's okay. Do it.
But wait, no, I did. Well, we'll get into it when we actually get into the movie. When we get into to the details. But I do want to say that that another Predator movie got made, 2 in a calendar year.
Yeah.
Come on, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Alien Earth season 2 greenlit. Let's go, right?
Yeah,
bring it on. I would rather you take some swings, and just because it missed on me doesn't mean that you should stop.
Stop taking those swings. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep swinging, right? Keep going and let's see what happens. So I'm pleased in that regard.
Unless you're casting Star-Lord. Chris Pratt again.
Keep Chris Pratt away from this movie. No, we're good. I'm happy with it. We'll get into the casting on the other side of the break, but I'm happy with the casting. And I'm glad also that they brought in to play Dek. We'll talk about him, but they brought in New Zealand. Not like I don't know what his background is, to be honest, but I think he's pretty fresh to this industry, and he had to apparently go through the ringer to audition.
I bet, because the physicality, there's so much physicality to play,
and the ability to speak the Yautja language and all this. So he jumped through a lot of hoops, and they're like, we're not going for a name, we're going for someone who can do this job.
Can I just say one thing really quickly to that? I really appreciated that this person, he was new, right? The actor that played the character.
Demetrius, and then he has a long double last name. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't do the last name, but I just want more of that. We don't need to see the same let me just say, I don't want to see the same rotating cast of actors playing different roles in different franchises and everybody fan casting the same actor from one film or one franchise to another film and another franchise. Open the door for new faces.
Right.
And hopefully we get more of that.
And I just want to say his name is Demetrius Schuster Koloa Mantangi.
Yeah, I wasn't going to try it.
New Zealand actor? And seems like, he's a young man. So Cool for him. He's got a 33-pound suit, and then carrying Elle Fanning around as well.
They helped. They have had a sling for her legs because Elle Fanning actually does have legs for the entire movie, secretly.
There was a couple times I caught, when things are going on. But yeah, good for him, right? Like you say, Jean, where's our next generation? Like get these folks up, like get them in and get them up and get what an amazing experience for him. He gets to take on an iconic role and bring something new to the game. Good for him.
Yeah.
Let's do more of that. And then without the makeup, obviously. let's see more
makeup,
fresh,
no makeup,
new faces,
whatever.
right?
Go,
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, I do like how what they did with the makeup is they did leave his face unexposed. And then, of course, they added CGI over it with the mandibles and everything. But it gave him more freeness of facial expressions.
Yeah, and you definitely felt that. I definitely felt that there was less alienness and a more you could connect to the character more. I remember in the first movie, the first time that we actually see when it takes off.
Oh gosh!
Like wow, we were all waiting the
nightmare
whole
fuel.
movie. It was beautiful. Yeah, and it was nightmare fuel. It was like, oh my god, did you see that? So it was really, really smart development for that. And now it's just like, oh yeah, that's just what they are. They're like, let's just go. Yep.
Yeah. That is. I appreciate the OG movie just for having invented this whole concept.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to know the dreads, though. I still need to know what's up with the dreads.
What's up with the dreads? Okay.
I still need to know that. Somebody need to explain that to me in some future.
Tentacles, I suppose.
Something.
Okay.
Give me an explanation.
All right. Yeah. Like, do they serve a function or is it just head tendrils?
Stylish.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll take a quick break for the audience, a longer break on our side of the mics. And then when we come back, we're going to break down the movie overall.
Cool.
See you guys on the other side. Uh-oh. The holidays are really coming up fast, aren't they? But, to quote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, don't panic. Uncommon Goods has you covered, giving you access to thousands of one-of-a-kind gifts you can browse stress-free from the comfort of your own couch. And if Hitchhiker's Guide fans want to follow that book's other most important piece of advice, but find that you do not in fact know where your towel is, Uncommon Goods can help you out there too. From a wearable toga towel to a beach towel that doubles as a backgammon board, complete with oversized wooden playing pieces. Hello, my name is Elysia, and I am addicted to Uncommon Goods. I honestly can't think of another site that has something for everyone in my family, from my sports-loving dad to my foodie mom to my sister, the board game fan. Whatever you choose will feel special, personal, high quality. It will be something your recipients keep, something that makes them feel seen. Uncommon Goods likes to stock products from independent craftsmen or small businesses, which are often handmade or in the U.S., so you can feel good about where your money's going, especially since with every purchase you make, Uncommon Goods will give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. And bonus, we can help you score a 15% discount. So don't wait. Make this holiday the year you give something truly unforgettable. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/lorehounds. That's uncommongoods.com/lorehounds for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Hey everybody, future editor David jumping in here. Unfortunately, my life schedule has changed a little bit and I am not able to join Jean and Elysia with covering the rest of the movie. I apologize for that. At the same time, I kind of was feeling bad because I don't know that I had a lot positive to say. And I know a lot of people enjoy this movie, and I want everyone to enjoy this movie. So I don't want to be the negative one on the podcast. So anyway, I'm just glad that this movie was made, and I look forward to future Trachtenberg offerings and future Predator movies. So here are Jean and Elysia continuing their conversation. Have a great holidays, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
And we're back from that days-long break, actually. And I think you just heard a recording from David. Thank you, David, for producing this still, that he's not joining us for the back end. But Jean and I are about to have a very full conversation. We've got lots of thoughts, some critique, but lots of positive thoughts, right?
Yeah, definitely some critiques. But, I'm going to leave the hater to the hate.
we both like this movie. I did say I would do a box office check-in. Now it's only been a few days, so we are now 1 day into the third weekend, so not much has changed. It's now up to 140 million, but I think it's going to have
solid.
It's solid. It's more than made up back. It's only 2.5 weekends in, and it's more than made back its budget. So we're doing good. Okay, but now 'tis the time to, full spoilers, get into what actually happens in the movie itself. And let's start with where the film starts. Let's talk about the brother brawl. And I have featuring Papa the Prick.
Oh, gosh.
What did you think about this opening to the movie?
I kind of liked it. The thing is, like I said before, I don't like the Predator. I don't like the Yautja, right? I don't like them because in every movie that I've seen, they've been ridiculously OP'd against the prey that they hunt. They're super, super far more advanced than anything that they come up against. And I've always felt like I hated these guys because of that. It's not until really I started reading some comics lately, because they have a lot of, Predator versus the Marvel Universe, Predator versus, Black Panther, and
right,
where they're going up against other superpowered individuals or technology, people who have, surpassed technology from what we have in the movies, that I started to change my tune, because I can see them going up against individuals and species who can match them for firepower. So watching this open with the brothers was really interesting, because it took me, out of, I hate these people. I hate this species. I found myself, looking at Dek and wondering, why is he so small? It just took me by surprise, because I wasn't expecting that. And it made me start to wonder immediately what the difference is between Dek and the others of his species would be.
Right. Yeah, we open with that quote from the Yautja Codex, which, seems like they kind of number it in the sense that it looks almost like a Bible quote. I suppose that's sort of their code of conduct, at least. And it says, Yautja are prey to none, friend to none, predator to all. And so that sets up the mindset like that you've seen in previous times. And as far as the whole OP thing, there's a lot of fans have had a lot of tongue-in-cheek critique about the fact that they use these cloaking devices, and is the cloaking device cheating? They're all about honor and a fair fight, but they're using advanced technology that they're not providing to the person they're fighting against. Yeah, it is an interesting take to have one who's have the perspective of a member of the Yautja, or not quite, actually, because he's not finished his hunt. He can't call himself Yautja yet. He doesn't get his cloaking device. So he's at a disadvantage because of that, because he doesn't have full access to the Predator technology. But also, as you said, he's smaller than expected. And at the beginning, Dan Trachtenberg actually was going to make him blind, and that he had a special mask and stuff, and then he was going to lose it at some point. But then he's like, okay, we got to streamline this idea here. But yeah, for me, I can understand why it's upending the usual Predator movie expectations. And I consider that a good thing, but I can also see why fans of the classic films are uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, I think overall for me, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, I like this subversion and this underdog, you know, point of view that we never get with the Predator, really.
Right.
In previous films, right? It's always the underdog has always been us. And I think when I say us, I mean humanity. So I think it's easier to root for the underdog that doesn't look like the Predator, doesn't look like the person that we've grown accustomed to hunting humans. It's not as easy to root for Dek because why?
He's got mandibles instead of lips.
Right. And just given the history that we have in the films, why root for Dek? Which I think it makes a compelling story to give us a reason that I felt that I could root for him, actually.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I noticed that my favorites among the prior films often include team-ups. So in Alien versus Predator, sorry, spoiler for these old Predator films. They've been out for a long time now. But Alien versus Predator, for example, has the Yautja teaming up with a human, which that story came more or less directly from the comics more than I think most. And then Predators, we see, that's the one with Adrian Brody. We see a brief moment of team up between human and Predator. And also in Predators and the next one, The Predator, we see evidence of different groups of Yautja fighting each other. That the larger ones are hunting the smaller ones. Right, so those were concepts I was really excited about and wanted to see played out more. And that's exactly what this movie does.
Yeah.
So where would you rather live? Yautja Prime, which we see in the beginning, this sort of barren planet, or Space Australia, which is called Genna, the Death Planet.
The Death Planet.
You'd rather live on the Death Planet than,
Absolutely.
Even though the Yautja are more afraid of that than their own barren planet?
Yeah, I think, if I'm just dropped off with no knowledge, if I'm like Chris, who's been dropped off to salvation, right? As a peacemaker reference for those who don't know. And it's totally new to me, then probably Yautja Prime. Maybe. Because there's less danger. You know what the danger is right away. You know what I mean? But to say, let's say, I've spent countless years, or my tribe or my people have been on the Death Planet for many, many centuries. I think I would rather that because we would have adapted to the planet. And it's a much more beautiful planet to look at. Right.
Yeah, it is a very pretty planet. I mean, I think I would love to live on Genna if I had a Thia to show me around and be like, don't walk through that grass, okay?
Right. You just can't drop on the Death Planet and be okay. I would rather, evolutionary-wise be on Genna than Yautja Prime.
I do like how they open the Yautja Prime bit where in Prey we saw over kind of a section of the movie, we saw this sequence of, oh, sorry, wait, I gotta do the thing. Okay, what is enter? In Prey, there's a section of the movie where we see play out the prey being chased by larger and larger predators, to start this, we get a fast sequence where it just predator eating prey over and over, just kind of calling back to that. I like that.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
And I liked how it started with action, but it established a firm foundation for this brotherhood. You really understand why he's upset that he loses his brother, because yes, they're fighting the way two members of the species would fight each other to train, but you see that Quay, his brother, is really training him while they fight. He's telling him, don't fight like our father. You are a different size. You are a different person. find your own style and strengths that work for you as an individual. And that's something that, he really sets him up. In addition to literally saving his life, of course, he sets him up for the rest of the movie with that.
Right. And I think what I appreciated about that setup was to show the bond that the brothers had, right? I don't think the movie works without that, to me. There's no sense in this movie playing out the way that it plays out if we don't have that part. Right. Because, it's very much about, to me, it's much about family and finding your people, right? Which Dek is trying to find, is trying to grasp to, is trying to, hold on to, and trying to get recognition to be included in the family. But his brother already sees him as family. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a definite, it doesn't work without that part.
Right. And there's also that contrast between the two sets of siblings. If, there's conversation, are Thia and Tessa actually siblings? And at the end of the day, Quay was really willing to give his life for his brother, and Tessa was always going to choose herself in the end. So it's this commentary of, it's not about who's blood or not. It's about who is really going to put themselves in the line for you. I just want to point out, when we saw inside Quay's trophy room, we saw a dinosaur skull. So do we want to see a Predators versus dinosaur movie, and how soon?
I'm going to say no. No, I don't want that. No.
I do.
No, I don't want them.
It's the Jurassic Park
T-Rex
crossover we never knew we wanted.
No, it's not fair. It wouldn't be fair.
I mean, they're a lot bigger. Yeah, they're not as smart. But maybe we are underestimating the intelligence of dinosaurs, and this movie's going to show us.
Man, no. No, negative. No, I'm not going for that one.
All right. Listeners, tell Jean that we need a Predators versus dinosaurs. But I like in the trophy room how they set up, for example, that whole quote unquote toy, that the freezing toy that sets up the rest of the movie. This movie does a good job of introducing things in a fun way, memorable way, and then repeating them just enough so that by the time it comes to play in the conclusion, it feels inevitable.
Yeah.
We get, obviously, the whole idea is choose your prey and come home with it or not at all. That's part of that whole Predator codex, I suppose. And Dek, of course, wants to overcompensate by choosing something even his father is afraid of, the quote-unquote unkillable Kalisk from Genna. But before he gets to go after it, Dek's father, I mean, why won't he just let his son go hunt? Why does he have to try to force his brother to kill him? Like, let him go on the hunt. If he dies, he dies.
Because, man, some fathers are terrible. That's the bottom line. Unfortunately, there are some who should not be parents.
And if you're trying to kill your children, that might be you.
And their father should not be a parent.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, aside from the fact that Quay literally saved his life, I think that Quay choosing Dek over their father and over his own life even really sets Dek up to think, well, maybe there's something off about our ways.
Right.
I mean, he gets that chance in the end. Does he grab a weapon to save himself, or does he grab the control panel on his severed arm to send Dek off to relative safely? He's heading him to the death planet, but at least it's not his father waiting there to kill
death,
him.
Right.
Yeah. It's just the whole Yautja thinking going in is helping others is weakness, grief is weakness, and that's hard to unlearn if that's what you're brought up believing.
Not only you're brought up believing, but you're brought up wanting. You know, because if you think any other way, you will be shunned.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's that's the thing, man. People, you know, nature versus nurture is always the thing, right? Like, are you born this way or are you raised this way? And this is the perfect example. This is the perfect example. Because I always thought predators were, you know, like genetically imprinted to be assholes, to be killers, right? That this is imperative of some sort, you know? And quite literally and frankly, we watch it play out that it's all about nurture. And not nature.
And then so we go to Genna, the death planet, and the predators use this as a hunting zone, a way to. So you didn't get to see the Predators one with Adrian Brody from 20.
Yeah, I watched that. I saw that.
Okay, you watch that. Okay. Yeah, no, I feel like that one was in some ways a practice run for this. I might have said this in the opening definitely. Part. Like they had that nice sky shot, but although I'm not sure about the physics of that sky shot, but they had, but then the rest just looked like normal human jungle because they didn't have this crazy CGI budget. This one did.
Right.
Although I think they did a mix of practical and CGI for this.
They did.
The VFX are very good. That's my opinion. I loved the design. As you said, this planet's really gorgeous. Like I loved how they had the mountains have these pointy tops that are kind of curving toward each other. So like arcing through the broken arcs through the sky.
Yeah, like arches.
Mm-hmm. And it's a lot more life here, a lot more verdant than Yautja Prime. All right, let's talk through some of the important flora and fauna, which we get introduced to it throughout. And then in true Predator movie fashion, the protagonist of the movie has to learn to use these surroundings to win in the end, basically. So were you surprised once we saw what a Lunabug was? Because she was warning him about Lunabugs, but...
Yes, I was. I mentioned this earlier, but the creature designs for this movie were fucking spectacular.
Yeah.
Downright spectacular. Like, this is nightmare fuel for 10-year-old me. Right? They were just done so well and so alien, but yet familiar. Right? Mm-hmm. Just really, really.
Yeah, and again, I love, like, we see Dek running from these tentacles, grabbing him, but we have no idea what they're attached to or that this is the Lunabug until they're in this mid-fight. Yeah. What was your favorite creature design?
Oh, man. Let me think about it. I'll come back to you with that.
Okay. All right. We're going to run through a few more of them here. So we have that slug-like creature in the plant that he picks it up and it grows glowing bubbles and then he throws it and it explodes. And I love Dek's face when it explodes. He's like, that's going to be useful. It's good to know. Good to know. And then that field of the exploding spike plants like things with the paralyzing needles. That was cool. There was some sort of pterodactyl looking things called vultures.
Yeah.
That at least Thia called vultures. Thia called those, she called them, I think, something like Ibre inquis, but they're the flying snake-like things that spit acid and they like snacks. Like you can catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. And then, of course, the bone bison that gets awesomely sawed in half and later becomes Dek's mask. And the razor grass.
I was tentatively waiting to see if any of the alien creatures showed up in this film.
From like Alien Earth or something. Yeah. I suppose it's just none of the creatures from this planet were there, but that would have been cool. And I have a feeling they're probably cautious about it, but the success of Alien Earth and the Alien, Romulus movies, and now the success of these Dan Trachtenberg movies, I feel like when Dan Trachtenberg is asked questions about this, he kind of, in interviews, he kind of looks like the cat that ate the canary. And I wonder if he knows that there are plans to start. I mean, just the fact that he could use Weyland-Yutani in this for the synths, I think that they realize it is time to attempt again a crossover.
That would be, I think now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
By the way, sorry for any strange sounds you might hear. You might have heard me talk about in other podcasts how I've developed a cat infestation behind my computer.
Yes.
So we have a white furry one now who's making the rounds.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Hey, man, cats gotta live.
Yeah. I mean, this is like they discover, we've lived in this house for a long time and they still discover new spaces. And they're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Speaking of discovering new spaces, so we already talked about the fact how Dek doesn't have the usual predator equipment, but he does have his unfolding plasma sword, his bow and wrist gauntlets with the shuriken. What would be your go-to? Because then we see him also at the end of the movie, and he has one of those staffs that double opens. What would be your go-to predator weapon?
The staff.
Yeah,
the staff and the gauntlets. I would wield those two. Yeah,
I always wanted to. Learn how to fight with a staff. Actually,
I love that. Yeah, the staff definitely.
Inspired
the sword is cool too.
Inspired especially by Matt from Wheel of Time.
I didn't think about. I was more thinking Shaolin monks.
I mean, the book like the TV version was fun too, but especially the book version made such an impression on me when he picks up that staff and kicks those princes' asses. Anyway,
that was good.
Yeah, and I always think because I'm short, like Dek, so I always think a staff would be good because it gives more distance.
Reach.
It helps me. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I
want to be able to hit them without them hitting me.
Yeah, you combine the staff with the wrist gauntlet, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the other thing that I appreciate about predators is that they need to have a certain herbal knowledge about wherever they go, because we see once he lands, he has this arm wound. He figures out the local plants he needs and applies a poultice to his arm. That is something we see repeated across movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping with the tease at the end of his mother coming, I'm hoping we learn more about, the background, rearing, education. Yeah. I mean, I just have to shout out especially appreciation for Demetrius Schuster Koloa Montangi. See, I'm getting better at it. It's just such
and I'm still not attempting it.
You can say Demetrius S.K. It's just such a physically demanding role. It's just absolutely incredible. Yeah. And I know it was also for Elle Fanning not quite the same, because she was not the one who was doing the carrying, although there was support, as we said before, helping him carry her. But he had to wear that suit and everything too. But she had to play two roles, Thia and Tessa. What did you think of Elle Fanning's dual performance?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. I enjoyed the banter, the banter with Dek. So that was fun, and I enjoyed, knowing that Weyland-Yutani still sucks in this far future, and they're still the omnipresent boogeyman in this universe. So I really I like that they incorporated that. I don't think I needed the entire, story between Thia and Tess. That background story for them in this movie. I thought that was the weakest part for me. But yeah, I just.
What do you mean by their background story? Like the fact that this was an authentic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
No,
the whole sister thing.
Yeah, the sister thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't hit for me. That's the one part that that didn't hit for me. But I did like the connective tissue that they had with Weyland-Yutani in this universe.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool and simple bit of world building to say that this is this all synthetic research station because humans are fragile and this planet is the death planet. And that also, just doing that allowed them to do the PG-13 rating, as we talked about, because there's no human blood.
Right.
But I liked, for me, the whole Thia Tessa thing. And as I was saying, in contrast with Dek and his brother, it really kind of made the movie for me in a lot of ways because, so we learned that Thea and Tessa were special, quote unquote, amongst the synths, which basically means they were given more empathy to help. And the idea was to help them understand the creatures they're studying and collecting, or, more specifically, it said later, to help them exploit the creatures they're studying and collecting. And of course, yeah, it's interesting to have that compared to Dek saying sensitivity is weakness. But Thea and Tessa, for them, it's an asset that makes them better at their jobs. Like they were given it as a special gift that sets them apart from the other synths. And I love just Thea. She says a lot of like the theses of the movie. She says, I can, yeah, which maybe is on the nose, but it's fine. I appreciate it. And I think a lot of people maybe need to hear it outright. She says, I can survive on my own, but who would want to survive on their own?
Right.
And it raises all these questions. Like, so they are twins, quote unquote, or clones in a way. They are the same. Presumably, they have all the same code. They look the same. They're put more or less to the same purpose. But what we learn is that Tessa's the one who was sent out into the field, and Thea was the one who stayed behind in the lab. So you have to question, did Tessa become hardened by being out in these dangerous areas all the time? Right. And then the one time she allows Thea to go with her, which apparently is because Thea had an idea about the Kalisk, and then the Kalisk attack happens and it nearly loses it all. So I don't know. Why do you think Thea and Tessa they're the same models? Why are they so different from each other?
That's a hard question to answer because watching it, I thought when she's being put back together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's listening to who's talking to her. Somebody's talking to her, and she's getting the instructions about what needs to happen. It's like she lost a part of the sensitivity that you're talking about in that moment, which is a very human thing, right? She experienced a traumatic event, and rather than leaning into, those emotions, she hardened.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so. So I think, whereas Thea, right?
Mm-hmm.
She experienced the same traumatic event, but she never leaned into the hardness. And I think it's because she wasn't put back together by Weyland-Yutani.
Right, yeah. Because they went through this, and Tessa was calling out for Thea as she was, dismantled and turned off. And she ended up waking back up at Weyland-Yutani base, and she's still calling out for Thea, but then immediately she's reprimanded and threatened with...
Right. Destruction.
With destruction. Whereas Thea ends up stuck in this vulture's nest for 2 weeks, basically. But when she wakes up, she gets to bond.
Right.
And she gets to have her adventure and like, oh, I'm so excited. I got to hunt with the Yautja. It's definitely different experiences after that.
And I'm not sure if there was like a switch in her code that made that switch possible when Tessa was being put back together. Did they do something other than threaten her with demise?
I think it's more interesting if not.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just wondering if they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but then we get warmth between Thia, and even though Dek is a Yautja, she lucked out because Dek's father would have, I don't know what Dek's father would have done, but he would have been
we
too
know
proud.
What Dek's father would have done.
He would have been too proud to work with her.
We know what he would have done.
And he would have died with, at the hands of the Kalisk
Absolutely,
for refusing to work with her. I wonder if people were bothered at all. I'm very used to reading subtitles. I like international movies.
Oh, no, yeah. That doesn't bother me. I read subtitles all the time. So
yeah. And I think it was probably helpful for a lot of people. They use, it's a trope like that. Oh, I turned on the universal translator, but it works.
Yeah. Come on.
So we had the English half of the, so even for the people who are not so comfortable with reading subtitles, there's still that. And it's just so cool to hear the Yautja language.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciated that, actually.
Yeah. But I also like she's smart enough to be like, you can use me as a tool, but she's also using him as a leg tool, basically.
Yeah, they're using each other.
Mm-hmm.
They're using each other, and I think they both know that, and they're gonna ride it out as long as they can ride it out together. Mm-hmm. And in that process, they come to rely on one another.
Right. Yeah. Classic found family.
Classic. How could you not love it?
I know. But I love on the cinematic side, I love that shot of her where she gets Dek to throw her his like shuriken thing from his wrist gauntlet, and she cuts herself out of the vulture's nest, and then we just see like half of a torso flying through the air, and then just off the corner of the screen, just so we see her arm rising up and down and the blood splattering, we see her like take out the pterodactyl thing, stab it to death, and then suddenly she's over like as a low angle, and she's over Dek like, hi. A great introduction of a character. And then just talking till he straps her to his back and says, now talk that way behind me. A classic, not enemies to lovers, but just enemies to family.
Right.
Did you have a preference? Like, who would you rather? I guess this is kind of a dumb question, but I was going to ask, who would you rather hang out with, Thia or Tess?
Man, I'm not trying to chill with no sense.
Not even Thia? Oh, man. I would totally hang out with Thia. I know she can't smoke weed, but I would include her.
Yeah, there's no choice in that. It's pretty clear who you want to hang out with.
Yeah. Do you think, though, so Thia kind of wanted Tessa to be her sister when she heard about Dek and Quay. Do you think Tessa also wanted Thia to be her sister, even though she betrayed her?
Yes. It looked like they had, before the attack, before they found the Kasilic and it attacked them, it seemed to be a very warm, dare I say, loving relationship, like sisters would be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think she wanted to go back to that, definitely.
Yeah. I understand why they didn't include it, just considering this was a movie from Dek's perspective, but I do wish we'd seen a glimpse of the bond between them before Tessa turned on Thia. That's my one critique, I think. But I mean, we see, as you said, there was like a switch in a way where Tessa started to see Thia as a liability. And she says, I tried to protect you while the Kalisk attacked, and it almost cost me everything. And I guess maybe the big difference is that Thia, by being with Dek and Bud, who we'll get to in a bit, she had the chance to see a life outside of Weyland-Yutani. And how can Tessa even picture a life outside of Weyland-Yutani? What, is she going to go live alone in the jungle?
I mean, that's a good point. I think it goes back to exactly that moment when she comes back online and she's being fed, Tessa, I'm talking about, is being fed all of this information by Weyland-Yutani, and it changes your perspective when your creator is basically telling you, if you don't do this thing, I will uncreate you. having almost been uncreated. She's just coming from being uncreated. You know what I'm saying? And now her the entity that, gave her life is saying, I'll take that away.
Yeah. Because she's mother.
Yeah. I'll take it away. And that's, and in a way, that's exactly what, Dek has gone through with his father.
Yeah, and I think also we get to see Thia have all these warm experiences out there, and Tessa finds out about them, but she's just reading it from the logs, so it doesn't have the same impact for you. Although it is funny, so in terms of her actually kind of defending her sister, the whole thing where at some point Dek says to Thia, like, it is an honor for you to hunt with me. And then Tessa does a callback where she's like, we are collecting you as a specimen. It is an honor for you.
Right.
That was clearly sassing back about, like, I saw what you said to my sister. But yeah, Tessa, she's controlled by fear. And Thia is motivated by love. And I like a story where love trumps fear. So, 1984, boo! No, it's a good book, but it's all about the opposite if you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is where we get the other, it's an on-the-nose exchange, but it is the one that I think about the most, where Tess says, Thia, this is what is asked of us. And Thia says, we can be more than what they ask of us. And Tessa says, I almost made the same mistake the Yautja's brother made. The weak must be called. And Thia, you're broken. So I always first of all, as soon as somebody calls somebody else broken, I'm like, you only broken people call other people broken. I think that's my theory. But just, we can be more than what they ask of us, I would say, is the thesis of the movie. It's the point of the movie.
What is Dek's father asking of him? What is he being more than?
To live by this Yautja codex where you don't, where you hide anything that resembles affection or emotion, or that you have to be a lone wolf rather than, we'll talk about the whole alpha concept comes up.
But I think he's already rejected that before.
I mean, we see him how much he's internalized it throughout this movie as he's talking to Thia, and Thia's the one who's really like, it's okay to care about people. It's okay to team up with people.
Yeah, but I think the relationship that he had with his brother has already disproved that notion to Dek.
I mean, I think by the end of this movie it does, but he's still...
Oh, no.
He's still reciting the party line throughout the movie.
I know he is, but I don't think he's reciting the party line because
it takes a while. Yeah. It takes a while for it to truly come out, but Thia helps him grow. Like I said before, his brother definitely starts him on that journey, and Thia helps him go the rest of the way along with Bud and circumstances.
Okay.
Can I ask, what was your favorite action moment, fight moment?
Oh man, Dek and his father.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah, at the end. Yeah. Yeah.
I know a lot of people say the leg fights where we have...
I mean, that was funny as hell.
That was funny, yeah. And I liked how there was just fun. There was a rack of legs, like pants hanging on a rack. Would have been funny if they all came to life anyway.
That was fun. That was definitely fun. But I think the final battle with his father was my favorite.
No, I mean, I agree. I feel like somehow the battle on the base wasn't as climactic as some of the earlier battles. I know there was a complaint on the Discord that the other synths go down too easily, which is, okay.
It's fair. That's fair.
It's fair. I think my favorite might have been the bone bison battle, because it was really, because you have Bud on the one hand fighting against them and then with them in the end, and then that awesome down the middle kill with them standing, like splitting the bone bison like Dek and Moses.
That was crazy. Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick break here. When we get back, we've teased Bud a few times. It's time to talk about Bud and the Kalisk right after this. What did you think when Bud first showed up in that fight that I was talking about? Did you suspect he would become an ally, or did you think Bud was going to go down quickly?
At first, I thought he was going to go down quickly because I didn't, I didn't suspect that this creature would have any, further use. I thought it was just part of the fauna that we're seeing, and they'll eventually, get rid of it or whatever. So it was a pleasant surprise to see Bud stick around for me.
Yeah. Especially they're competing for the hunt. It's how they're introduced. It kind of reminded me of Ice Age, the whole thing with the acorn.
I never seen Ice Age.
Oh, okay. I mean, I haven't seen the whole series, but the original.
But I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, all right.
Acorn, all right. Ice Age.
It's like two characters that are like fighting for this acorn, and anyway. But then we see Bud visibly impressed by Dek's awesome bone bison kill, and then not only steps in to save them when Bud didn't have to, because apparently Bud has this impervious skin, but then later starts like copying everything that Dek does. Like Bud looks up to Dek so much after that.
Yeah, it was funny to see Bud imprint on Dek in that way.
Yeah. And then Dek's kind of a jerk to him at first, like only reluctantly shares the kill. And then abandons Bud the next morning, and after Bud spat on him and everything.
I mean, I would have done the same thing. Like,
you would have abandoned Bud?
Hell yeah.
Well, Thia explained. Thia understood.
That don't mean that I want you spitting on me. Get out of here. Kick rocks.
When did you realize it all before Dek did that Bud was a baby Kalisk?
No. No, I did not.
Yeah.
But it all happened in retrospect. Like in the moment that the Kalisk was on Dek, that's when I realized. I was like, oh, that's when before the sniffing, I realized in that moment, like in the seconds before the mother Kalisk started to sniff, I was like, Dek, you're very lucky. I was like, you're very lucky because Bud saved your life.
I mean, I don't think that I realized until Dek outright said it when Bud was sitting in the Kalisk print later in the movie. But then when I went back and watched for a second time, then it's like, oh yeah, they were laying out all this stuff. Like Thia was surprised by Bud's appearance, says she's never seen a creature like it. And then, the bone bison they're fighting over, Thia says, bone bison, that's Kalisk food. So, yeah. And then, finally, when you see the close-up of the Kalisk's face in the fight, like right before the sniffing, you can see in retrospect, like, oh, yeah, that looks like the same kind of face. So, the spitting, being spat on by Dek saved. Dek being spat on by Bud saved his Dek
life from,
And then it was a really sweet and disgusting payoff when Dek spits back on Bud later, too. We're family now.
Man, if that's family, leave me out of the Thanksgiving dinner.
I don't know if you decided on a favorite creature design, but I guess I'm going to go with the Kalisk, because it's cool that they're self-healing, like that moment where Dek cuts off the Kalisk's head and then it starts to reattach and like, oh crap, that's why it's unkillable.
Hydra.
Yeah.
I was expecting to see 2 more pop up, but I was just like happy that it was just 1. I was like, oh, that's so fresh right there. I think, yeah, I think it's between the Kalisk and the whatchamacallit, those little flying lizard things.
Yeah, that was cool too. The little, what is it, Equise or whatever she called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting that it seems even before they went into the field, Thea, they're supposed to be collecting stuff for Weyland-Yutani as weapons, as bioweapons, basically. And Thea's the first one to be like, well, actually, maybe there's something positive, medicine that can come out of this self-healing creature. But yet we find out that this potentially, like, this could be the creature that has the cure for cancer. But it is also extremely deadly and has killed many Yautja before. So, and it's amazing that, like, it would have killed if Dek's father had come here. Totally would have killed him. And the reason why Dek survives is because Dek teams up with the scary monster instead of trying to fight it.
Right.
So I loved that. Dek, once Dek discovers the Kalisk is Bud's mother, you can tell it's like immediately like, okay, off limits for me, and says like, you free the Kalisk, I'll get my trophy. But now Bud means the trophy is Tessa's head and spine at the end.
Yes.
Doesn't impress his father, but that's cold. That's cold. You just, your trophy is the head of your new, like, I don't know.
Your new sister's sister.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking we were talking about in Dark Tower, because we've been covering It Welcome to Derry. There's the concept of the Katet. And so their Katet is like Dek and Thia and Bud. Yeah. And then Tessa, she, like, how sad / awesome was it when Tessa exploded the Kalisk from within?
That was
with
such
the
a
ice
cool
storm?
visual.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit!
Oh
no!
It's like, oh no!
No. I'm sorry,
wow!
Tessa.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, Tessa. I wanted you to be the one that was dead.
Yeah, it went from like 0 to 100 to just so quickly. It was like, oh yeah, oh man,
yeah. Oh, and she feels like she's the one who's been betrayed. I do feel a bit bad that, like, it all ends so badly for Tessa.
I don't.
I know. It's her fault, but if things had gone a different way for her.
Nature versus nurture.
Yeah, I mean, if did
she choose it?
Yeah, if she had just chosen at one point to side with her sister, like, yeah, they're so far from Weyland-Yutani. How is this mother going to shut her down if she just leaves the base with Tessa?
I'm thinking, from the other sense, or sending other sense to come get them at some point.
Yeah, but they go down like butter, apparently. So
yeah, I agree. But I guess that's the fear, right?
Yeah. I mean, and then in the end, so both Thea and Dek have killed family members, but family members who have killed other blood or found family members. So both were raised by a cold, unfeeling parent, and in some ways destroy that parent or the product of that parent, and then find freedom. So it still is a bit bloodthirsty in a way. It's not all kumbayas.
No.
But I guess it needs to be. And I love this whole thing with I love wolves. Wolves are some of my favorite creatures on the planet. And Thea says, the alpha isn't the wolf who kills the most. The alpha is the one who best protects the pack. And this, by saying this to Dek, this allows Dek to, because if he looks at his brother's actions and protecting him in Yautja terms, then Dek is obligated to think of his brother as weak and not a good Yautja. If he looks back at his brother's actions in these terms, he's like, that's right, he's the alpha. He's stronger than the other Yautja because he protects his pack. So do you think Dek's going to call himself Wolf from now on?
I hope not.
No?
No.
I mean, they all have these kind of code names.
Yeah, no, just stay with Dek, bro.
We did have, there were two, I don't think they've ever really said these names on screen, but in the movies, there's always names that are given to the ones that the Yautja we've seen before. So there has been a wolf in the second Alien versus Predator, and apparently also another wolf in the AVP 3 video game, which I haven't played.
But we haven't known their names, though.
I mean, yeah, like it's what we call them, but it's not what's said on screen.
It's not their names. It's coming from us, right? From the humans who are encountering them, I would suspect.
But a lot of people, like there's a lot of groups on Earth who, once they go through some ritual, some rite or whatever, they get a new name. Or even, you think about baptism. Nah,
let's leave Dek with Dek. We don't got to rename the homie.
I think he can be Wolf too. I think Wolf's badass. He's alpha. He protects his pack. Yeah. So what was it? You said that your favorite fight was the final fight with his father. What were your favorites? What did you like about it?
Just him, really incorporating his own fighting style and just going against the grain. Like if he would have fought his father straight up, he would have died. And he listened to his brother. He found his own way, used the things that he learned while on the death planet to his advantage, and just came up with a totally different way of fighting. And his father was not prepared for someone who could, counteract the superior technology that he had. And I think that's what made this so great for me, because we always see that in the Predator movies, where it's the humans who find this, use everything to their advantage in order to counteract the technology of the Yautja. And to see a Yautja do it, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked how he did the whole blast from the ship, so the particles.
That was great.
Highlighted where his father was hiding cloaked, because of course Dek's not cheating like that.
Right. Not only he's not cheating, he doesn't have the
right,
tools
he doesn't have it yet. Yeah, and then he literally takes it from his father, which is like fair. That is the most earned thing, the most earned Predator cloak ever.
Exactly.
Because he also he takes his father's arm the same way his father took his brother's arm before killing him, and then ties him up and unmasks him, which is like very shameful for Yautja. And his father, his final plea, I think this is as close as it comes as a Yautja gets to begging. He says, perhaps the right son did survive. Yield now and take your place in our clan. Like he's trying to act from a position of strength. Yeah. One arm down and tied up.
Yeah, and bro, no.
He says, I have my own clan.
Yeah, I got my family. You took my family from me, bro. Get out of here.
And then he doesn't even take his father's head as a trophy. Bud, who's Big Bud now, because Bud's grown, just eat it. Just eats it.
Yeah, this, the ultimate, no shame.
And now he's got the cloaking device, so he gets to be Dek of the Yautja. And and we go from, we get this overall arc of the movie from trying to impress Daddy to realizing Daddy sucks and needs to die.
What does it say about us that we laugh at that?
I mean, this is a man who told Quay that he should have killed Dek in his sleep. I'm sorry, that is not honorable Yautja behavior. Killing someone in their sleep? How is that honorable? And instead, Dek went out and founded a whole new freaking culture. So, I'm laughing.
I'm cool with it. I'm all right with it. I'm all right with it.
Oh, so what was your favorite character in the movie overall?
Dek.
Dek?
Yeah, Dek.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I just I'm between, I see reasons for Dek, Thia, and Bud to all be my favorite characters for different reasons, which makes me happy. Did you have any favorite gags or bits of world building?
Apart from the Wayland Yutani stuff, no. That's what I just found the most pleasing and the most interesting. That connection.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess, just I went into it in the beginning, but just the building out of the entire language was really cool for me.
That was, without saying that was definitely cool, but also, this notion that the mother is coming for him now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, to your point earlier, I really hope that they do, in some future, show us more about Yautja culture, society, and how it all works. Because I think that's really going to be interesting if we do hopefully get a sequel to this in some form. That shows, why are they the way that they are.
Yeah. And this is the first time that we're going to see female Yautja on screen. And like this, there are female Yautja in like the book lore, in the comics, in one of the video games, I think you can play as a female Yautja. But it's going to be interesting. Like, I know in the comics, it is a sort of matriarchal society where the women are kind of in charge of things at home and the men go out hunting. So it will be interesting to see if they keep that or what, or like, do we think, I mean, I think Dek's mother is still Yautja, and I don't know, like, I don't think she's going to be upset per se that Dek killed his father, but she might have some judgments about him.
Who he's hanging out with?
Yeah.
I don't all mothers have. Who are these new friends of yours? Who is this?
Yeah, this is not our way. We don't like other people. And I also wonder, like, what's Wayland Yutani going to do now that they've had their base destroyed and their project blown up and technology destroyed? I feel like they're going to be after them. And then the other questions are raised by Killer of Killers. Like, so we saw Killer of Killers. Anyone who hasn't seen it yet, you absolutely should. But it ends with this arena concept where they're engaged in some kind of time travel, the Yautja, because they're bringing together people from different time periods for arena fights, including from past movies. So, yeah, how is all this going to come together? Like, there's so many different directions the Predator franchise can go from here.
Right.
Do you have what would be your hope for the next film? Which question would you most like to see addressed?
How the Yautja came to be.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some interesting comics lore on that I'm curious about.
How the Yautja came to be.
Why are they like this?
If they're in the same universe, then this is, with aliens and Wayland, this is going to be a very interesting shared universe that we have.
Yeah.
And did the big ball-headed aliens, what do we call them again?
The xenomorphs?
No.
The E.T. or what?
No, not E.T., man.
I don't know. We're the big bald-headed aliens.
The big ball. Oh, why can't I remember? The creators. What are they? What are they called?
Oh, the engineers.
The engineers. Yes. I want to see how the Yautja culture get to be this way, and do the engineers have anything to do with it?
Right. I'm curious if they're going to ignore those Alien prequels or bring it back in, because then, of course, the Alien prequels, they don't mesh with the Alien versus Predator movies, which I think the Alien versus Predator movies are still considered canon to the Predator side, but not necessarily to the Alien side. Right. So the whole interconnected canonicity of is a mess. So I'm very curious if they're even going to try to address any of that. Or
I would love that.
I would like it too, honestly. But yeah, I really like what you said. Also, I know that in the comics and books and stuff, there's that the Yautja kind of basically started as an enslaved group. And so you can see coming out of that why they have this lack of trust institutionalized in their culture. And like we will defeat others before we are ever defeated again mentality.
Right.
And so I would love to see that. Yeah, I would love to see that explored also. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, we have some more movie stuff coming up. We have some weekly coverage. What's going on the Lorehounds feed, Jean?
We have Welcome to Derry. Mm-hmm. We have Libera's also weekly coverage of that. The American Revolution series, which I haven't started watching yet. So I'm gonna wait. And I think today's the last episode, maybe.
Yeah, so they dumped all the episodes in a week. So I've watched the first one, but I'm like, I can't watch 2 hours a night. I'm doing it weekly, but I'm glad there's individual podcast episodes so I can catch up on
those as well as I watch the episodes. We're probably going to try to watch it together as a family with E. So we're doing Frankenstein this week. So catch that.
Yeah, this coming week. Yeah,
you guys are getting ready to do Wicked coverage, which should be awesome.
Yeah, I'm just actually listening now to re-listening to our Wicked Part 1 episode from last year with Nicole, Marilyn, and I, and we're going to get the band back together for Good is the title of the Part 2, the final part. So I'm very excited about that. I've been diving back into the books and rewatched the slime tutorials. That's how you find the play on YouTube if you don't happen to have it playing nearby. Very excited about that. And of course, check out in the show notes, you'll find a link tree with links to all of our affiliate podcasts like Never Mind the Music, where psychology meets music, Properly Howard, they're between seasons, but funny movie reviews. Radioactive Ramblings will be starting with Fallout coverage. Fallout Season 2 begins very shortly, I think. We'll Shift Dust. We're getting back into our Christmas shtick with a Christmas Carol coverage again. Luke and I will watch them all one day. Not this year, but this year we're watching more of them. So, and the Star Wars Canon Timeline podcast, of course. And if you want to go deeper into the Lorehounds community, then we do have Supercast and Patreon feeds. Those 2 feeds have the same content, just which you prefer. And that means you get access to ad-free episodes and also a bunch of additional episodes. Like this month is the Robert Redford Movie Festival. And I think we're so busy, obviously, with this other stuff, but probably in early December, I think, Jean, you and I are going to do What You Watching about the new Witcher season.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be fun because you should be watching it.
I am. I'm watching my way through. So I am catching up on it so that we can do this. And I'm glad to have this as a motivator to prioritize this because, it is fun to get back into this Witcher world. I came in through the games and then the show started out.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah. I hadn't read the books, but been a game player since day one. This was really, I really enjoyed this season. So good. Can't wait to talk about it. Good.
Yeah, so I was so behind. I'm actually now in the middle of season 3 catching up, but I watched I watched the Sirens of the Deep one, which I actually I like these
that wasn't bad at all. I like the little spinoffs that they do.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's the Little Mermaid, but that's fine. I love the Little Mermaid.
Look, man, the more Geralt that there is on my TV screen, the better I feel. So give me more.
And I'm going to watch after season 3, apparently is a good time to watch that other live action one.
Yes.
Anyway, so Witcher, What You Watching coming up probably early December. But we're just glad if you don't feel the pressure to sign up if that's not for you. We're just really glad to have you here listening.
Yeah.
And
so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you want to help us out at all for free, it's a huge help when you share this episode with other people who you think might enjoy it, or even leave a positive rating or review wherever you're listening. We do like to shout out our special thank yous to the people who do support us financially. So especially our Discord server boosters, Aaron K, Tiller the Thriller, Duve71, Athena Ajalea, Lestu, Nancy M, Ghost of Partition, Radioactive Richard, and Adrian. They help us have all the bells and whistles and good functioning of the Discord. Thank you to all of our subscribers, to our Lorehounds, but thank you most of all to our highest tier, the Lore Masters: Samartian, Michael G, Michelle E, SC, Peter OH, Nancy M, Duve71, Brian 8063, Frederick H, Sarah L, Garrett C, Andra B, Kwang Yu, Nathan T, Sub-Zero, Aaron K, Deli V, Mothership 61, Gnarls, Kathy W, Listu, Jeffrey B, Elysia U, Ben B, Scott F, Stephen N, Julia F, Coley S, Ilmariel, Paul K, Rocky Zim, Jessica H, Red Zippy, the TCS, Dopamini, Catch It, Ellen R, and always last, Adrian. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And I'm not going to talk to Feige today.
Okay. I'm going to talk to Dan Trachtenberg. Hey, Dan Trachtenberg. To quote Aaron on our Peacemaker podcast, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
The Lorehounds podcast is produced and published by the Lorehounds. You can send questions and comments to lorehounds@thelorehounds.com. Get ad-free access to all Lorehounds podcasts on Patreon or Supercast, and connect with us on Blue Sky and join us on our Discord server. Links for everything are in the link tree in the show notes of this episode. Any opinions stated are ours personally and do not reflect the opinion of or belong to any employers or other entities. Thanks for listening.
Get to the chopper!